Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the longest day yoga. I'm just getting set up here, getting ready to start. Whoops, can't even get my shoes off. There we go. I have with me today my mat and 2 blocks. So you're welcome to use blocks if you'd like to. Believe it or not, they sometimes actually make a pose harder. So they're not just something to help you with a pose when it's too difficult, but they can make a pose a little bit harder too. So a few things before we get started. First of all, I just want to thank you for joining me. This is my longest day Alzheimer's Association fundraiser, but it's also in honor of International Yoga Day. So I'm grateful that you joined me for both of those. The reason the Alzheimer's Association chose the longest day as a day to recognize dementia and Alzheimer's and all other dementias is because we say the day with the most light is the day we fight. So we're continuing to fight this disease, hoping to find a cure, but in the meantime, trying to bring quality of life for people that are living with the disease. If you feel any pain while we're doing yoga, I want you to stop or ease out of the pose. We should never feel pain. A nice stretch is always good, but we don't need to feel pain when we're doing yoga. We do not live by the motto, no pain, no gain. So if you feel pain, please back out of it. If you need to take a rest, you can always go to child's pose. I'll be offering lots of different modifications throughout. I've decided to call this maybe Yoga 101. So I'll be providing some progressions and some modifications. So hopefully everybody can gain something from it. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start in child's pose. Maybe I'll go this way. Oh, and by the way, I'm not on flat ground. It's really hard in the mountains to find flat ground. So if I'm wobbly, that's okay, because we wobble a lot in yoga and it's totally fine. So we're going to start with our knees out towards the outside edge of the mat. Big toes are going to come together. You want to check to make sure that they're in line with the midline of the body. You don't want your toes off to the right or to the left. That could mean a hip is tight, and we're trying to work that out. And then we're going to bring our forehead down to the mat. Arms can start relaxed. Now, if you have bad knees and this is uncomfortable, feel free to put a block or maybe a book or blanket between your glutes and your heels. If you have really tight shoulders, feel free to put the block under your forehead. That just allows you access to the pose. So while we're in the pose, we sometimes call this connecting with our breath. We're just going to become aware of our breath. Try to use our nose to inhale and exhale as much as possible. And then as you settle in, I want you to start to draw the inhale in a little bit deeper, so much so that you feel the belly expand. And then exhale completely before taking the next inhale. It's not a forced breath, it's still a very relaxed breath. But just being mindful of filling up the lungs and then exhaling completely. Relax the jaw. Make sure the teeth aren't clenched. Your face should be soft and your neck should be soft. And then I want you to start to release the low back and the tailbone towards the heels. So if you're like this, see if you can start to bring the tailbone down towards the heels and round the low back. So this part right here, start to round towards the mat. Try to do that on the exhale. Good. Now we're going to walk both hands to the right side of the mat. Maybe stack the left hand on top. Maybe walk the fingers out a little bit further. And we're going to start to open up our side body. So from the elbow all the way down through the armpit, down into the waist. Just feel that nice big opening. Feel the rib cage expand. Feel the armpit open up. And then we'll walk the hands to the other side. Right hand on top of left. Or just walk it out a little bit further. Feel that right side body open up from the elbow all the way down to the waist. Keep the jaw relaxed and make sure your teeth aren't clenched. Good, and then let's come back to center. We're going to bring our arm bones in close to our ears, walk our hands out towards the front of the mat, anchor through the heels of the hands, lift the fingertips, and you should feel the shoulders open up a little bit more, plus a little bit of a stretch in the back. Keep breathing through the nose and inhaling deep into the belly. Good. Now reverse the pressure. Press away from the front of the mat. See if you can get your glutes closer to your heels. Good. And release. On your next inhale, go ahead and press up to what we call our tabletop. So like I said, if any time during the practice you start to feel tired or fatigued or just need a break, go ahead and go to child's pose. It's a great pose. So we're going to make sure that our wrist, elbow, and shoulder are all lined up right underneath our shoulder. We're going to pull our belly button up into our spine. I always tell my classes, no saggy ranch horses. We're not going to have the sway back. And then knees are right under hips. And if you can, come to the tops of your feet. If you can't, you can bring the toes up. We're going to press up and away from the mat. So we want to keep the shoulders full. And then we're going to bring our right foot straight back, press through the heel. I'm going to try to keep my hips neutral right here. So I don't want that hip cocked up. I want it nice and neutral. And then left hand straight forward. Now make as long of a line as you can from fingertip to heel. We want everything engaged. We don't want these saggy arms and saggy legs. We want everything engaged. I am pressing this hip in towards the midline, and I'm pressing up and away from the mat with my right hand. Good. And then we'll come back to center. We'll go to the other side. So left foot straight back, right hand straight forward. Same thing again. Don't let that hip cock up. Extend through the heel, through the hand. And now you can see this arm. I'm keeping it straight and pressing up and away. I'm not sinking into that shoulder. I'm keeping it strong. Good. We'll go back to the other side. We're going to add a little bit of core to this one. So right foot back, left hand forward. And we're just going to do a knee to elbow, nice long extension in between. Keep breathing. Good. When you're done, hold that. And then we'll drop these back toes and just rock back slightly, getting a nice calf stretch. Keep the belly button pulled in. Good. Come to forward. Going back to the other side, left foot back, right hand forward. Keep the hips neutral again. Knee to elbow, extend. When you're done, we call this bird dog. So you want to keep it engaged, stay strong, keep the hips neutral, press up and away from the mat, extend to the fingertip through the heel. Good. And back to center. Nice job. We're going to come into something called thread the needle and add a little twist to our practice. Twists are always good to get the organs working and moving. They also like space, so sometimes in a twist we create space. So we're going to keep knees and hips in line, and then just bring our right arm under our left, bring right shoulder, right ear to the mat, walk the left one forward. So it's just a slight twist to start with. Keep breathing through the nose if you can. Bring that left leg up if you want to. If you fall over, then I say you're a true yogi. So never worry about falling over, at least when you're close to the ground. Good. If the foot is up, bring it down. We're going to weave a little more and look all the way up to the sky. So it should almost be hard to breathe right now. This is a super deep core twist. Good. And then release. And then we'll go to the other side. So left under right. Walk the right hand forward, or keep it close if you need the balance. You can stay here or bring this right leg up. Good. If the leg is up, go ahead and bring it down. We'll weave a little bit deeper, twist looking all the way up to the sky. Deep, deep core twist. Almost hard to breathe. Good. And relax. Ooh, I always think twists feel good. I like them. All right, let's warm up the spine a little bit more. So we're going to go into our cat-cow. To be mindful of the whole spine, I want you to start with the tailbone. So we'll just drop the tailbone down and then lift it up. And then I want you to make your way up your full spine. So think of a slinky. Remember those slinkies we used to get as kids? When you first took it out of the box, all the little wires were kind of stuck together and you had to work it out a couple times. That's kind of what I picture we're doing with our spine. So we're creating lots of space. Go ahead and bring the head into it. So drop the head, drop the tailbone, big dome in the back, and then drop the belly, lift the head, lift the tailbone. I'm not going to talk about breath too much today because I know I'm going to be talking way too much to be mindful of it. So you just have to come to class sometime. Good. And then if you want to just press the rib cage out from side to side, get everything moving. We move our joints a lot in yoga. We work a lot on range of motion. Next, we're going to bring our right hand, right knee, and left foot into the midline of the mat. So notice that they're all in a straight line. We're going to stack our hips, left hip on top of right. And then notice I'm stacking from wrist to wrist. I'm trying to create a straight line from wrist to wrist. I'm going to pull up on this bottom rib cage and feel this top rib cage fan out. Maybe look up to the sky if you can. Good. You can just stay here or bring that arm next to that ear. You can stay here or bring this back leg up. Keep pressing away with this arm. Try not to sink down into it. Press up, stay strong. You can stay here or add 5 knee to elbows using your obliques. So that means the side body. Good. Once you're done, you can drop that foot, lift that hand back up, and then I'm going to bring the foot behind, open up my heart space. This we call supported wild thing. So you should feel this hip start to open up, the heart space start to open up. Good. And then we'll go to the other side. So left hand, left knee, right foot. Peel open. Again, stack the hips. So I'm not letting my behind stick out. I'm stacking the hips. I'm stacking from wrist to wrist. I'm staying strong in the shoulder. I'm not collapsing down into it. Good. Bring the arm next to the ear or just keep it up. Bring the foot up. You can stay here or add 5 knee to elbows. Good. When you're done, go ahead and bring the foot down, pull it behind the mat, open up into your supported wild thing. Stay strong in that left shoulder. Good. and let's come back. I'll switch back to the other side. I'm looking out on the weather so far. They're predicting thunderstorms this morning. So I was relieved to wake up and see it was not cloudy, or not raining. All right, so now we're gonna start working up into our down dog and into our standing poses. So when we do that, we want our hands nice and wide. We want our fingers slightly turned out. That will turn our bicep creases, or our elbow creases, and our bicep creases out. So hands towards the front of the mat, fingers turned out, spread out from thumb to pinky, make a nice broad base. We're gonna first of all come into our yoga plank. So usually in a yoga plank, hips and shoulders are even. Notice I'm still pressing up and away from the mat. I'm not sinking down. And then we'll press back into our first down dog. Now our calves and hamstrings aren't quite awake yet, so we're gonna cycle our heels. Good. Now the other things I'm doing, I'm continuing to turn my biceps forward, my elbow creases forward. I'm sinking my head towards the top of the mat. I'm pressing my heels down as I lift my tailbone up as high as I can. We're gonna go from here back to that plank. If you need to come to your knees, please do so. And then we're gonna press back to down dog. Wave forward and back. Keep breathing. Wave forward. If you want a little challenge, this time go past your wrists and up onto the tops of your toes. Try that out. It's a little bit of a challenge, a little harder. Or just keep going like you were. We're going to do one more. And then we're going to hug these elbows in tight. Bring our chest down first. This is called a chaturanga. And press up into our sphinx. So hips are pressing into the mat or into the earth. I'm pressing up from my forearms. My elbows are under my shoulders. So I'm trying to use my low back muscles to contract my low back. Working on some flexibility as well. Good. Back down. Press back. Now since we're still just warming up, we're just going to take a giant step forward onto our mat and come into our forward fold. If your hamstrings are really tight and everything is tight, you can start with a slight bend and then work into your forward fold. This is another place where blocks are great. You can bring the earth to you. Maybe you're just right here. Drop the head. Good. Let's inhale to half. Exhale to forward. And reverse swan all the way up. Head coming up last so you don't pass out. And heart center. Good. We'll inhale up. Bow down. We're going to come back into that plank again. So again, strong shoulders. Pull the belly button up. Notice I'm not sagging. Pulling everything up, keeping everything strong. Press back to down dog. Now you can just keep both feet down or plant this left foot down. Bring the right foot up and hook it. Keep the shoulders strong. Good. We could go into a flip dog from here. I'm still debating. I might not do it today. Good. Now we're going to straighten this leg or just bring it down. And then we're going to bring elbow to knee and back up to our three-leg dog. Elbow to knee. Or just stay in down dog or go to child's pose. Remember, those are all options. Good. One more. And then we'll do that chaturanga again. You can keep the leg up if you want to, or bring it down. We'll wave forward. Chaturanga. Oh. Up dog or cobra. Back down. Press back. Step or hop. Forward fold. Inhale to half. Exhale to forward. Reverse swan. All the way up. Hands to heart center. How's everybody doing? Inhale up. Bow down. So this is a series of sun salutations we're doing. And we're just modifying each one. It's a good way to warm up. It's better than burpees, I always say. So we'll drop this right heel, bring the left foot up, hook it. Now in this one, notice I am opening up my hip. I do want it open. Good. Bring the leg back to straight, way forward, or just stay in down dog, or go to child's pose. One more. Good. Keep the leg up or bring it down, and we'll chaturanga. Ooh, arms are getting tired. Back down, press back, step or hop, forward fold, inhale to half. On your half fold, you want a really long spine. You want right here to be a 90-degree angle. Forward fold, reverse swan all the way up, hands to heart center. Whew. Okay, that warmed me up. Glad I brought my water bottle. Okay, so that was kind of our warm up. Now we're gonna go into our standing poses, which are kind of our strength poses. Today we're gonna start with Warrior Two. So with Warrior Two, whew, I'm out of breath. You want your front knee in line with your front toe. So you don't want it in or back. And then back foot is straight, or back leg. And then you want to lift up the arches. So you don't want to be collapsing into your knees. Keep the arches strong. Arms come up, shoulders are right over hips. Now we're going to open up biceps, forearms and palms, and then just close the palms. Keeping the biceps open. Now drop the shoulder blades down your spine, or down your back, sorry. Good. Keep lifting the arches. Maybe lunge a little deeper. Keep that back leg straight. Squeeze that back quad. Good. So sometimes we flow through these, and sometimes we just hold them. You actually get more strength from them when you just hold them. Now I'm dropping my tailbone down. I'm not sticking my behind out on this one either. Good. We're going to rotate forward into what's called Warrior One. I'm going to move my back foot slightly to help me scissor my hips. I'm going to hook my thumbs, reach up towards the sky, but drop my shoulder blades. Keep lifting the back arch, squeezing the back quad. Good. This is Warrior One. Let's go into cactus arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades, open up the throat, and back up. I'm going to try for Warrior Three. We'll see on this uneven ground how I do. So I'm going to bring hands by hips, propel forward. Now, if you just lift your back leg up an inch, that's okay. Let's lunge, coming back to Warrior One. All right, that one went all right. So maybe let's try airplane arms. Woo! Embrace the wobble. It means your ankles are working hard. Good. Lunge, come back. Maybe on this one, try traditional warrior arms. So arms come forward. Flex the foot. Good. Lunge back up. Nice work. Let's come back to Warrior Two. Walk that back foot back. Now, we're going to straighten this front knee. We're going to come into triangle. So we're not going to let this hip cock out. We're going to hold it right here. Reach with this arm as far as we can. Drop our hand to our shin or to a block. And then again, just like in that supported side plank, we're going to create this straight line from wrist to wrist. Hips, this hip is back. and we're looking up towards the sky. Or if that doesn't feel comfortable, keep your gaze down. Good. We're going to swivel into our pyramid. I'm going to pull my back foot forward a little bit and outside of hip, or out into my hip line, I should say. Nice, strong, long spine here. Notice my shoulders are down and away from my ears. Good. We're going to rise up and bring those back toes up. I'm actually going to lunge or push the back foot back a little bit. Now we're in our high crescent. If you want to add a little back bend, you can. And then we'll come all the way down. Low lunge. Walk that back foot back a little bit. So with this back leg, you're trying to get the back of your knee towards the sky. We're going to plant our left foot down, or left hand, sorry. Reach up with our right. Good. Come back down and go into our pigeon. So right knee to right wrist. Walk the left leg back. If you need support, you can put a block under your right hip and under your forehead. The biggest thing is I don't want you to collapse this right hip down to the mat. I don't care if you could drive a Tonka truck under your hips. I still want them neutral. So notice my low back is neutral. This is a restorative pose. That means we're letting gravity do the work. We're not forcing anything. We're just letting our body rest into it. And I'm catching my breath. You can stay here or bring your right hand to the center of the mat. Draw the left heel in and then press this left hip forward. All right, so we worked the right hard side. We're going to do a sun sal to work all that out. So press back to your down dog. Big down dog here. A little bit better than the one before. Wave the weight forward. Chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. Back down. Press back. This time you might want to try to hop into a forward fold. Inhale to half. Exhale to forward. Reverse swan all the way up. Hands to heart center. Good. All right, let's go to the left side. Whew. Are you warming up? I am. It's only like 55 out here, but that's what I call hot yoga. If it gets up to 70, I think that's hot yoga. I don't think I could ever do hot yoga. So we're going to start in Warrior 2 on this side. Left knee over left ankle. Make sure you can see your toes, but your knee's not to the inside or outside. Arms come up, but shoulders are down. Notice my shoulder blades, or my shoulders are up here. We keep them down and relaxed. Open up biceps, forearms and palms, drop palms. Lift both arches of the feet, and then keep this quad nice and tight, working hard. Good. Warrior 2 right here. You can look past your fingertips. Notice too, I don't have saggy warrior arms. That would never do. My tailbone is dropped, my belly button's in, and I'm breathing while I'm talking. Good. We're gonna scissor the hips and come into Warrior 1. I'm gonna bring the back foot in a little bit closer and a little bit out. Hook the thumbs, bring arm bones in close, drop the shoulder blades. Keep breathing through your nose as much as you can. Lift the back arch of that back foot. Good. Let's open arms up into cactus. Maybe a little back bend. Squeeze the shoulder blades. it back up. And we're going to try that Warrior 3 series. See how stable we feel on this side. And like I said, embrace the wobble. If you're really wobbly, that's okay. Hands by hips. Root up and away from the mat. Let's lunge back. So you're really keeping that standing leg strong. Trying not to bend that knee. Airplane arms. Lunge, come up. Let's try traditional warrior. Ooh. Good. And back to that warrior 1. Windmill to warrior 2. Nice. Now we're going to straighten the front knee. Put our hand on this hip. Reach till we can't reach anymore. Drop that hand. Open up into our triangle. I am really pulling my hips forward on this one to keep them in line with my shoulders. And I'm trying to create a straight line from wrist to wrist. So my arm's not all over the place here. And my behind's not sticking out. I'm trying to imagine I'm between 2 panes of glass and having equal pressure on each side. Good. We'll bring hands to our low back. I'm going to shorten my stance. Bring this back foot to the side a little bit. Toes are forward. Pyramid. Keep the spine straight. Keep it long. Good. We're going to lunge into this front knee. Turn the front toes forward. So the reason this is different than Warrior 1 is both my feet are facing forward. And I'm pressing that back knee towards the sky. Maybe a little back bend. Good. Come all the way down into this low lunge. Back foot goes back even further. Imagine you're trying to get the back of that knee to the ceiling or sky. Right hand comes down. Twist the belly button into the thigh. Reach up. Keep that back leg straight. Good. Come back down. And left knee to left wrist. Coming into our pigeon. Again, use the blocks for as much support as you need. Just don't let the hips fall to the side. Keep them neutral. Let gravity do the work here. Keep the jaw relaxed, the teeth unclenched. You can stay here or bring the left hand to the center of the mat and draw the right heel in. Press the right hip forward. Good. Release that foot. Bring hands back to the front of the mat, fingers slightly turned outward. Really spread out from thumb to pinky. And press back into that down dog. Whew. Big down dog here. Your best one yet. Everyone should get a little bit better. And when you're ready, we'll wave the weight forward. Chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. Back down. Press back. Maybe try to hop. Whoops. Keep the big toes in line though. Forward fold. Big one here. Inhale to half. Exhale to forward. And reverse swan. All the way up. Ponytail flying all over. Woo! All right. So that was the standing strength part of our yoga practice. Now we're going to do some lateral work. You know, we don't spend the day going sideways or doing much side to side, but that part's so important. So we're gonna walk our feet out, but keep them like railroad tracks facing forward. So the outside edges of my feet are parallel with the outside edge of my mat. I'm gonna drop my tailbone, lift the arches again, squeeze my quads. I'm gonna bend at my hip crease right here. Some people come up to me and say, oh, I'm so not flexible. Look, I can't. Well, none of us can bend up here. That's not where we bend. We bend right here. So we're gonna come into a half fold. You can use your blocks or your legs or come all the way to the floor. Press back through the sits bones. And then maybe you'll find you can walk out a little bit further. Keep pressing back. Maybe you can bring the head down. Keep lifting the arches. If your head is down, let's push it back up. Good. We're going to heel toe in to what I call our goddess feet. So I'm coming in about a fourth of the way on each side. I'm going to bring knees out over ankles and then lift my shoulders over my hips. I feel like my ponytail has gone every which direction today. You might do namaste hands, you might do goddess hands. Getting a nice solid base, you might lift your heels or just lift one heel at a time. Keep breathing though. Whoops. I put the camera up really high, I'm realizing. Good. Drop the heels. We're going to rise up and pull down, bringing elbows towards knees. We do a hip hinge here. Couldn't think of the word. But you just don't want to stick your butt out too far. Good. And then we'll heel toe in. Or you can hop in. And we're going to come into tree. So with tree or even just mountain pose, if you just want to stand in mountain pose, that's excellent too. So either way, you're pressing your hips in and pressing all the energy up. So when we stand in the grocery store like this, we're really pushing the weight out into that hip. So we want to press everything towards the midline equally, press the hips in, and even in tree, let's see if I can do it. We want to be pressing everything in and up. So you don't want your tree to look like this. You can just do heel on ankle, bottom of the foot on the calf, or maybe, see if I can do this today, foot into, oh, my yoga pants are too slick. So it doesn't matter how high your tree is. Try to bring this knee out and then keep hips moving in and up. You can do tree arms if you want to. Drop the tailbone and breathe. Good. And relax that side. Let's go to the other side. So again, hips in and up, or just stay in your mountain pose. Bottom of the foot, bugs are coming out now, to the bottom of the shin. Maybe if you couldn't do it on the other side, you can do it on this side. I think my yoga pants. I'm going to get Velcro, I decided, and just stick it on the inside of all my yoga pants. Then I can hold my tree. We've also decided that the time of day you do your tree makes a big difference too. Sometimes first thing in the morning is a lot harder. Good. Go ahead and drop that. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale the half. Exhale the forward. Reverse swan all the way up. And hands to heart center. Good. So before we end, I want to talk a little bit about mountain pose, because when we're standing in stores or in line or just standing, there's a lot to think about that will help us keep our posture and our joints in alignment. So first of all, the outside edges of your feet should be parallel. Should always try to lift the arches of your feet. Knees should be in line with the ankles. And to do that, you squeeze the glutes. And then you drop the tailbone, roll the shoulders back and down, and chin is neutral. So this is a good mountain pose. Not like you have to stand like this in the grocery store all the time, but just think about this when you want to cock that hip out or lean on something. Think about what you're doing to your joints. All right, let's head down to the mat. We're going to end with a little boat pose. Good for the abs. So and I'm on a hill, so if I fall over backwards, can do hands under knees, just lift the feet, maybe let go of the knees, bring hands to the side, and maybe come into your traditional boat pose. On a hill, this wasn't very smart. Good, so we're breathing, our neck is relaxed. We're trying to keep our spine straight. It's really hard on a hill. Good. And then we'll come into our what we call bound angle. Whew. Bottoms of the feet together. Working a little bit more on hips. So just letting the knees fall towards the mat. So there's a lot more to yoga. It really is a practice that everybody's working on constantly, continually. I teach 4 times a week and I still feel like I have a long way to go in a lot of areas. So look around for a teacher that you like that fits your needs. We're going to come to our back and cross left over right. We're going to do something that we call releasing our practice now, which is usually a rocking motion. And we're just going to rock this figure 4. But anyway, as I was saying, find a teacher that suits your style. We all teach very differently. There are more types of yoga than I can count. It is good for your mind. It's good for your body. There is evidence that yoga helps keep your mind sharp, especially when you get into the more of the meditative yoga and spend a little bit more quiet time. I didn't want to waste a lot of my airtime today on that, but good. Let's switch to the other side and rock. Like I said, this is usually what we call releasing our practice. We do some sort of a rocking motion. Good. And then tuck the knees in tight. Pull the sacrum and tailbone up off the mat. Maybe nose in between knees. And then lay the head back. Bring the hands out to the side, palms open to the sky. Straighten the body along the mat. Walk the shoulders down and away from the ears. We call this our Shavasana. It's our final resting pose. You just want to make sure your jaw is relaxed. Let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth and the back of your teeth. Soften your face. And then during this time, I usually have my classes either think of 3 things they're grateful for or set an intention for the day. An intention is different than a goal, and then an intention is the type of person you want to be. So instead of saying, I'm going to eat healthy food today, your intention might be, I'm going to be a healthy person today. You can lay here as long as you'd like. And whenever you're done, you just wiggle your fingers and your toes. You can roll to your side and then press yourself up to seated, or tuck the knees and roll. And then we usually end cross-legged. And we almost always end with namaste, which just means the light in me or the power in me recognizes the light in you or the power in you. So if we want to do a big inhale together and then exhale, hands to heart center and namaste. Thank you everybody for joining me today. I'll keep this video posted live, well, not live, obviously, through Tuesday probably, and then I'll create a YouTube video out of it if anybody wants to do it any more than that. So thanks so much. Have a great day.